Okay, ladies and gentlemen, little sisters and brothers, real quick, real quick. This is the heathen season until January 1st at work for me. So it will affect how much I can write. So today's video is something very quick that will support all of the evidence we have gleaned thus far in our New Testament series. Question: is Little Miss Ivy the only person to notice? I never use the letters attributed to James, Peter, or any other writings outside of conservatively, ever so conservatively looking at the Gospels. And I do that only for the anointed one's sake. For he said he didn't come to change a thing, only to fulfill. If you have noticed that and wonder why I don't, check out what all the Christian scholars don't have a problem telling you about the New Testament. I will use different references this time to show you that I'm not a one-trick Wikipedia pony and to prove all of these scholars agree, which can only mean you are the only one being misled. Saying that, according to the Anchor Bible Reference Library under An Introduction to the New Testament, I'm going to cut to the chase. Quote, by the mid-60s, death had come to the most famous of the earlier generation. The passing of the first generation of Christians contributed to the production of works of a more permanent nature. Letters/epistles remained an important means of Christians' communication, even if they were written now, not by Paul himself, but in his name to preserve his spirit and authority. I'm going to read that again. Letters/epistles remain an important means of Christians' communication, even if they were written now, not by Paul himself, but in his name to preserve his spirit and authority. Many scholars assign 2 Thessalonians, Colossians, Ephesians, and the pastoral letters, which is 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus, to this category of Deutero-Pauline writings composed in the period 70 to 100 AD or even later, after Paul's death. Listen up and closely. Quote, in this view of many scholars, to this post-70 period also belongs the epistles attributed by name to Peter, James, and Jude. Example, but wait. According to the Cambridge History of the Bible under Disputed Pauline Writings, cutting to the chase, listen up and proceed. Quote, the Pauline authorship, which was resisted by the West. Let me say that again. The Pauline authorship, which was resisted by the West until overborne by the East, is now everywhere abandoned. The pastorals, which were absent from Marcion's canon, either because he did not know of them or because he rejected them. Listen up, listen up. Form a unit so distinctive in vocabulary, style, and thought that those who defend their authenticity have to do so by liberal use of the hypothesis of Abamonuresis, thought of as one who had been given carte blanche to write on the apostles' behalf. Stop. Bingo. According to Webster's dictionary, under that word I can't say, Amanuensis. I just thought of Miss Sharon, as she always catch me. Boy, you know you slaughtering them words. All right. That word means from a hand or assistant who takes dictation or copies something already written. Example, before you fix your mouth to say something like, but scribe, the we passages, what about them being evidence? It was Luke, damn it. It was Luke, scribe. Before you say that, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, Macropedia, under we passages, cutting to the chase, Listen up and perceive. Quote, excuse me. In the latter part of Acts are several sections known as the weed passages that appear to be extracts from a travel diary or narrative. These do not, however, necessarily point to Luke as a companion of Paul, but are rather a stylistic device such as that noted particularly in itinerary accounts in other ancient historical works. And, listen up and perceive, an actual companion of Paul, writing about his mission journeys, could be in so much disagreement with Paul about fundamental issues such as the law, his apostleship, and his relationship to the Jerusalem church is hardly conceivable. Acts represents a picture of Paul that differs from his own description of himself in many of his letters, both factually and theologically. Example, bingo, but wait, we cannot forget about my beloved Wikipedia. According to Wikipedia, under authorship of the Pauline epistles, cutting to the chase, quote, there is nearly universal consensus in modern New Testament scholarship on a core group of authentic Pauline epistles whose authorship is rarely contested. Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Philippians, 1st Thessalonians, and Philemon. Listen up. Several additional letters bearing Paul's name are disputed among scholars, namely Ephesians, Colossians, 2nd Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd Timothy, and Titus. Example, bingo, but wait, under disputed works, quote, scholarly opinion is sharply divided on whether or not Colossians and 2nd Thessalonians are genuine letters of Paul. The remaining 4 contested epistles, Ephesians, as well as the 3 known as the pastoral epistles, which is 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus, have been labeled pseudepigraphical works by most critical scholars. Example, remember, in this dispensation, people, please remember, in this dispensation, evil is beautiful. Wickedness is what you think is righteousness. Perfidious enemies, meaning the confidence gamers, don't say good day, ladies and gentlemen. They say, because they get real close, hello, family. Mark them who do not cause division, but rather amalgamate the holy with the profane in your minds, people. Mark them. Your God is letting you know exactly who they are. Each video, each time you talk to them, they got to have these things dripping out of their mouths, or their doctrine falls apart. If you find somebody at this point, we've gotten through enough, that when you talk to them and they say Paul's name without saying MF on the back of it, or the equivalent on how they know the damage he has done, then, well, you already know. If you've heard them teaching you through his doctrine, through all of these made up things, and far worse, oh my gosh, I just heard this weekend, man, these cats, y'all be flowing in and out with these extra biblical works like it's just water, like it's normal. Man, these things ain't real. Now you know doggone well those other things are not real. If your teacher, if you that kind of person who needs a teacher and not ask my God themselves, but if you're listening to someone and they're teaching you through these abominations, the things that we're looking up ourselves, Wikipedia, they're in all the reference books. scholars, Christian scholars know all about this. Your pastor, if he has his certificate or whatever, they get, he's read about these things. Now these black Hebrew Israelites, they self-made, this, that, and other. But y'all don't hold them accountable whatsoever. Man. But I bet you if I said something all crazy, man, he'd be all in my... It's time to go. I'm rambling. Let me go. Rap with you guys later, my God's will.